right, here, my brother.
All right, we're back. Here we are. Hopefully, we stay like this.
Yeah, yes,
All right.
sir.
So your thoughts, brother, your final thoughts on that little segment there.
My final thoughts that it's not a bad thing what Doug Wilson is doing
No.
for Christians that do understand from a biblical stamp, from a biblical view, our point of view is that yes, like my brother read in Matthew, where Jesus commands us to go out, preach to all the nations, make disciples. That's what it's all about for us Christians. And it doesn't matter what religion you come from, what belief system you have. The fact is that we are obedient to what the Bible is asking us to do. We do this lovingly. You don't see, any of his church going around beating people up to convert. There's no, any type of influence that they're pushing as far as you either convert or else we'll take away your house or, you know what I mean? It's all from a biblical perspective. So I see no issue with it. A couple things that I disagree with, but it just has to do with my understanding of scripture. But, bro, again, yeah, Douglas is being attacked big time. And within Christendom as well, because there's a lot of liberalism and a lot of progressive Christianity this is an affront to them. This is no way. You're not bringing this upon us, right? But yeah, from my point of view and what I believe, no, Doc Wilson is doing a good work, and this is what churches should strive for in society. Push, preach the gospel, that the gospel reaches those that are unbelievers, and live in a way that honors God by obedience to his word and carrying yourself through, like a blessed household where man is the head of household, the wife is the helper. They submit to the husband have being the head of household's authority and live amicably because you're obeying God and He's going to bless you. He's going to bring just delight into your household where, everything's going to grow and everything's going to be blessed. And the Lord's really going to shine through that, brother. Imagine if we're always constantly fighting within the household, constantly not adhering to obedience, then it's going to be a disarray. The children are going to suffer. They're going to grow up misguided, not understanding their roles as they grow older and they become husbands and wives. So, yeah, it distorts the whole family when it comes to the understanding
Can,
of what a household is.
and can I say something in clarification? Because I think probably people are so biblically illiterate
Hmm.
that
Yeah, ignorant, bro.
probably get
Hmm.
probably getting the wrong idea here. So let me clarify something. The Proverbs 31 woman,
Hmm.
the last proverb in the Bible, in the book of Proverbs. She worked outside the home.
Hmm.
She made business deals
Amen.
for the family. She bought land. She prepared meals for her family. She took care of her kids. She took care of her husband as far as the role that a woman would do in uh, the husband would provide and she would take the provisions and use them for the household to benefit the household. And, but she did all of that under the um, under the authority of her husband. But
Yeah,
he was,
amen.
but the Proverbs 31 husband was not being a tyrant toward his wife. He was allowing her to go out and work and to do business deals and all of this stuff, and it benefited the family. But she always acknowledged that her husband was the ultimate head of all of that, and she did things. I mean, she would consult her husband and say, is this good? Should I do this? Should I do that?
Hmm.
My wife works outside the house. I mean, she works as a nurse. I don't have a problem with that at all.
Yeah,
My wife votes. I don't have a problem with that at all. That's not the point. The point is that she operates within in her role as a woman inside the household. That's the whole point.
amen. Yeah, good stuff. And I'm glad you brought that up. You brought clarity to that because you are right. There's a lot of people that are ignorant of God's word and they don't understand. They just completely miss God's guidance and God's instruction and His order, and completely do fly over that, bro. And that's what causes issues in their own households, in their own life, right? Because they don't understand these things. So
Right.
thank you for clarifying that. But other than that, we can sufficely say that my brother and I have no problem with Doug Wilson and what his push for Christian nationalism. We don't have a problem with it. I mean, we some things we disagree with. We spoken about these things, but
Mhm.
no. But yeah, bro, this has been hot. The moment I saw that CNN was conducting this interview, I was like, oh, Doug Wilson. He's ready though. He was ready to face all those tough questions and to bring clarity to exactly the mission that he's pushing for. And it's a biblical mindset. He's a lot of people are coming at him like strongly. I mean, doubting his Christianity pretty much. And again, pitching the wrong gospel and it's like, dude, you're way off. You're not quite understanding his mission or what he's trying to accomplish with this. But anywho, good stuff, bro. That was a long segment, but hey, one that needed to be discussed because we like these things and we like to discuss and bring about biblical clarity. And I appreciate your thoughts on all of that. Let's see. I'm gonna bring up your X account and let's spend the last whatever minutes we got time. So, discussing any of these news you would like to discuss. So I'll scroll. You say when.
McAuliffe has some interesting things right now that we get into some medical stuff, and
Hmm.
I'm not a doctor. You're not a doctor. We don't give medical advice on this podcast or on the C files. We're just reporting what doctors are saying. How's that?
Hmm. Yep.
And you can make
Very
your own
true.
decision as if you think the doctor is correct or incorrect. Okay. So here's Dr. McAuliffe, and listen to what he has to say.
I finished with a patient today. He is in research. We're using a lab in Germany. We have detectable Pfizer messenger RNA in his body now, 3.2
Mm.
years after the shots.
First of all, what is detectable mRNA, bro?
mRNA is the new technology in what they're now calling vaccines. They've changed the definition of vaccines in order to include mRNA technology
Hmm.
that's being shot into people's arms. Um, and what he's saying is the effects of mRNA are not dissipating as some of these tainted studies have said. He's
Hmm.
saying it's still affecting people. And so the connection, he talks about the connection of mRNA to myocarditis, heart problems, other
Mm.
issues in the body. And he's one of the leading advocates as far as talking about that kind of stuff and exposing it. He's a cardiologist. He's a very famous cardiologist, by the way. He's a very highly accomplished doctor. He's got his medical degree and everything. He knows what he's talking about. But this is this is doctors versus the bureaucracy of the World Health Organization and
Mm.
its agenda, its political agenda. So some of these doctors who have the courage to come out and say, okay, I'll put my career at risk to tell people the truth.
Yeah.
Um, they are bucking the bureaucratic political agenda of the medical industrial complex. How's that?
Yep.
And
That's good. That's good.
and so he's bucking that, and so there's more. Let me. Can you go down?
Hmm.
There's a few other doctors. Now this lady is very interesting, but we'll come back to her.
Okay.
Keep going. Just start scrolling. Just start scrolling. Um, okay, it's jumping around there. Okay, keep going. And
Was it
we're
Brian
talking
Artist, the doctor?
yeah, here's another one. So we'll just hit the doctors for right now. And
Yeah,
this,
yeah. Let's go back and finish the first one, Dr. McCullough, and
okay,
that
did
way
we not
finish.
finish it?
No, no, no. I paused it because I wanted to, let people know what the mRNA
Ooh,
is, and
my
that way.
mistake. Okay, yeah, he was going to
No, no,
talk.
it's okay.
Okay, hold
Okay.
up, hold up. That's not it. That's above him. That's another good one. So we'll go up there next then. Go ahead.
Yeah, we'll go back to that one.
I finished with a patient today. He is in research. We're using a lab in Germany. We have detectable Pfizer messenger RNA in his body now, 3.2 years after the shots.
3.2 years. Wow.
For sure. For sure. So people who took these shots, they've got it. They've got it at least long term now. And I've testified in the House last year, and I said, listen, I think we got 5 to 15 years, of concern here. This is very long-acting genetic material. And I think we should assume that all messenger RNA coming forward is going to be very long-acting in the body, and we need to be prepared for it. I finished with a patient today.
Detectable, bro. So if he's saying 10, 15 years, I mean, that thing can sit there for a while. So, man. And the pharmaceuticals they don't want to hear that. They got an
No,
agenda, you know?
they're about to be held accountable, big time.
That is big
They're
time,
going to be
bro.
these pharmaceutical companies are going to be sued out of oblivion. I
Here
mean,
we
it's
got
coming.
another one. This is Dr. Daniels need that his here is apologizes for vaccine ignorance. Well, let's check this one out.
There you go. You got
So
that.
these are my big issues regarding vaccines, and these are the things that I'd like to highlight. Number one, there is no education in medical schools that I am aware of, and being an educator at the Cleveland Clinic Lerner College of Medicine and Case Western Reserve University, I am not aware of education around vaccines, their contents, safety records, informed consent, or the Vaccine Injury Compensation Program. We do not discuss that in 1986, Congress enacted legislation removing all liability from pharma related to vaccine adverse events.
Hmm.
What are we taught about vaccines? We are taught to memorize the vaccine schedule. And actually, I'm going to be sitting for my family medicine boards this year, and I am sure that I will have to memorize that schedule again in order to pass that exam.
Wow.
We don't discuss that almost $4 billion with a B has been paid to vaccine-injured patients since 1992.
4 billion.
For medical
Wow.
professionals, we expect fair balance, but vaccines seem to be absolved from that consideration. Number two, there appears to be a conflict of interest regarding payments to providers for completing vaccine schedules. And a corollary to that, which would be number three, patients are being dismissed from practices because of, quote unquote, vaccine safety concerns. If you bring up a question about a vaccine and you decide not to vaccinate your child, you may be at risk of being terminated from that practice.
Wow.
Absolutely deplorable and disgusting. Number four, and again to the Bailey family, I'm really sorry, but employers are forcing employees to receive the flu vaccine or face corrective action or job loss.
Yep.
And the fact that your dad was 6 months from retiring is... Number five, there's a lack of informed consent, and I was one of those providers who didn't provide safety sheets before vaccinating. I would tell the parents, these are the vaccines today. We're going to give you 3 vaccines in one leg and 2 in the other. And then after vaccinating either the child or the adult patient, here's your information sheet. And again, to be completely transparent with you, I had no idea that there was even a mention of the compensation program or a telephone number to call.
Wow.
Absolutely deplorable on my part, and I apologize to...
Bro, that takes a lot for a doctor to come out with like this. Whew.
Yeah. Yeah, you can tell that it really did affect him in his heart. He's
When he mentioned the Bailey family, I mean, obviously you have somebody that passed away,
somebody he
and,
knew. Yeah.
and that hit him hard, obviously, because 6 months away from retirement, and I'm sure received these vaccinations and therefore succumb, right, to the vaccine or whatever he was dealing with, right? He just threw the vaccines completely, but that is wow. But are we seeing more and more doctors, like you mentioned, coming out and really, it's, whatever it is that it's motivating them to do so, if it's conviction and or just morality that just really tugging at their hearts. But man, we're seeing more and more and more.
What you just said triggered something in my mind. What this is, it's morality versus money.
Yep.
It's morality versus money because you dump morality in order to make more money in this case.
Hmm.
And you do that which is evil so that you can get richer. That's what's
Yeah.
happening. And those who choose morality are punished by those who choose money. And they say, you're not going to work for us. You're not going to work in this town ever again, da 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 da, that kind of stuff, because you're messing with our money. We
Yep.
don't care how many people die. We don't care how many people are affected by what we put in their bodies as long as we make money. The
Money.
love of money is the root of all evil. That's what's happening here.
Yeah. No, great point. Great point. So, man, that's a hard one. Here, let's finish it off.
My patients. Number 6, there's a lack of transparency regarding vaccine complications.
Whew,
And worse, you're being shamed as patients
that's
for
that's
suggesting that
true.
you were harmed by a vaccine. If I see a patient in the office and diagnose strep throat and give them penicillin, and either the mom or the patient themselves calls and tells me that they developed a rash, there is zero question. The chart now states they have an allergy to penicillin and will never be given it again. Why don't we believe parents and patients when they tell us they have had an adverse event regarding a vaccine? It doesn't make sense to me as a medical professional. I apologize for the being emotional.
Wow. That was tough, man. But you know what? I appreciate him for doing so, because again, it's a big deal to stand up like that, because you could be ostracized, blackballed. I mean, you name it, bro. His popularity just went down big time.
Yeah, yeah. And once again, we're not doctors and we don't give medical advice here. We're just presenting to you folks what doctors are saying. That's
Hmm. Yep,
yeah. So
exactly.
just in case anybody misconstrues that. Now listen to this lady here. I don't know. My comment was, wow, this lady is bringing the heat. She starts saying some things that will probably get us in trouble, brother, if we play it, but let's play it
Yep.
because it's really interesting. Here we go.
History of any vaccine saving so much as one life. In fact, they are bioweapons, and if you give them to a young child, and the younger the child, the more destructive they are to that immune system. And so it's a combination. It's a combination. If you know where the WHO comes from, I think I put a note down here to where it comes from. But anyway, it was started up by Rockefeller.
Whoa.
And what was Rockefeller into? Eugenics. Euthanasia and eugenics. That was Rockefeller back in the 30s. They own the WHO. They own the NIH. So now the game is, these people aren't dying fast enough. We can make a lot more money, and they'll die a lot faster if we put out these vaccines and we use them on small children. Children first. And then we make it compulsory. Then we can even say the kid can't go to school unless he's vaccinated. Mandatory vaccines are murder in the first degree. That is what they are. You're invading a person's body with poisons, and the shock is horrible. In real life, you don't have to deal with 10 different germs, viruses at once, usually one at a time. But when they give a child a vaccine, or anybody, but children the worst, and that system is soaking up in an instant all these poisons I just listed here, plus a lot of viruses, they don't tell you what they are. The immune system, especially of a child, just throws up its hands in horror and says, I can't cope. This is too much. This is not like real life. They give you an overwhelming amount of poisons at one time. And that's what happens.
Very interesting.
And that was, I just listened to her. I started sneezing.
Yeah, yeah.
And let me say for the YouTube audience and so forth, we're not saying this is true or false. We're just presenting what people are saying about this subject matter. So you make up your own mind on that.
Interesting stuff.
Keep going down. There's more. There's more. This is an interesting subject.
It is very much so. You said
By the
one
way,
doctor.
HHS is taking a lot of action. They're requiring mercury to be taken out of the vaccines now. They want to make vaccines safe, is what HHS wants to do. They're taking mercury out, and they're really questioning mRNA, and they're really taking a close look at that now. So here's Dr.
Wow.
Artis and what he has to say. So here we go.
A billionaire patient. This guy comes in, he's been to the Mayo Clinic 5 times in 2 years for 3-month stints at a time for a condition called aphasia, which is what Bruce Willis just retired from Hollywood. Your brain is thinking what to say, but your mouth won't say it. It is delayed. On the intake forms, he actually had 5 different prescription medications. 3 of them were cholesterol drugs, 2 of them were high blood pressure drugs. But I didn't know how long he'd been on them. I just saw them on there and by name. So I went home and I wanted to know, of these pharmaceutical drugs, I wonder if any of these are published in peer-reviewed published research studies to be known to cause aphasia. I printed out these research studies, and as they're flipping through it, they had no idea that the cholesterol drugs had a published side effect to cause aphasia. I said, can I ask you when you were prescribed these drugs? And he said, 3 years ago. I said, how long ago did your aphasia start? And he goes, 2.5 years ago. And I said, okay, you're going to stop your cholesterol drugs today. He came off the drugs within 2 weeks. All of his speech was returned.
Yeah.
Bro, this hits home for me. If there's one thing that's happened to me the last X years that I've been taking some medication because of background with diabetes and high blood pressure, that's happening to me, bro.
Aphasia?
Yeah. It's slapping me in the face right now because, and I'm gonna look into this because it's happening to me, bro. There's time and time that I tell my wife, I see the word in my head, I want to say it, but it doesn't come out of here. And it's like,
Yeah.
it's just, I see the word, I spell the word in my head, but it's not coming out of my mouth. It's a certain particular word, and it just escapes me, bro. I cannot say it.
Move down, and I think you get an answer as to why it's happening. We got some doctors that talk about the effects of the lowering of cholesterol.
And that's what I'm taking. I'm taking one
There's
pill.
a problem. You lower your LDL, VLDL, you're going to have a big problem with your body. Come down, according to these doctors. I'll say that. I can't say that because I'm not a doctor, but according to these doctors that I'm looking at, they're saying that. So let me
Tell me when to stop. I'm
make you
going down.
going.
Okay.
Be 2 female doctors.
Okay.
Come to the first one. Not.
Okay. It's
Yeah,
loading.
that lady was what she did was dumb. Anyway,
Yeah, I can tell.
by the way, Apollo 13 astronaut passed away. We condolences to his family. Right here. Stop there.
Okay.
Here's number one. Here we go.
There we go. Let's play this one.
Hello, beautiful human. You've heard me say it before. I'll say it again. Cholesterol is a nutrient. It's not a disease. Cholesterol is an essential building block for our bodies. It is required to make all of our sex hormones, our steroid hormones like cortisol, required for vitamin D synthesis. It's also needed for bile, and we are made of 40 trillion cells. Cholesterol is needed in every one of our cell membranes in order to make those cells nice and soft and pliable. In 2015, the American Heart Association, this is 10 years ago, came out and said cholesterol is no longer a nutrient of concern, and they removed the saturated fat cap of 10%. So please remember, cholesterol is important. If we don't eat enough of it, our bodies will make it. Our bodies make most of the cholesterol that is circulating in our bloodstream. But the true culprit, the true problem, when you look at your lipid, your fat profile from your blood work, it's the triglycerides. And those we reduce not with a drug, by dropping carbs. So drop your carbs, drop your triglycerides, and that will improve heart health. I hope you're being good to you. You're pretty darn important. Food's a tool, not a weapon. Remember, like and share. Take care. Bye-bye.
Wow.
Now go to the next one down.
I'm gonna look into that big time now, bro.
When you're ready, you can play this one.
My goodness.
The American Heart Association used that money to spend the next few decades fabricating a huge pile of evidence to support the idea that cholesterol causes heart attacks. And that pile of evidence is nonsense. It's nonsensical. And some very smart scientists who have sifted through it have, come to the same conclusion. There's nothing here. There's no evidence. And I bring this up because when you cut out vegetable oils and eat healthier foods, very likely your total cholesterol levels will go up, and your doctor will tell you to stop following this diet that's improving your health and transforming your life. And it'll scare you maybe even into taking a statin drug, which is one of the most dangerous drugs out there. And so I have a whole chapter in Dark Calories about this so that you can kind of fortify your knowledge. You have to know more than your doctor because doctors are miseducated.
Mm-hmm. Wow, wow, wow.
Does that get you thinking, brother?
I'm dumbfounded right now, bro. Because I guess I wasn't researching the right thing or the right combination of words. It makes sense.
Well,
Because it all started when I started taking a certain medication.
Yeah, Google's
You know,
not going to give you the right.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And for me, I mean, I felt it and I sensed it. And to me, I've been doing my best to change my eating habits and all this stuff because eventually I want to get away from all medication. I don't want to be living on medication and, eating better, exercising, all that good stuff. But it's making sense. So I'm awestruck in a way to know first of all that it's not in my head that this has happened to me. No, it's a real thing. You're right. But yeah, wow.
I personal testimony. I gave up the statin drugs a while back. I gave up all cholesterol lowering drugs a while back. Gave up blood pressure medication a while back. Only thing I do now is half a Prilosec for stomach issues. That's it.
Yeah.
No prescription drugs. I started eating according to my nutrition plan. 2 fists of meat, one fist of vegetable, 1 fist of a starch like a rice or a potato. That's your meal. And exercise, doing the CrossFit. Brother, I went to my cardiologist and he says, I I don't have any concerns about you for the next 10 years when it comes to your heart.
Mm,
I had a
mm.
heart attack in 2019,
Yep, remember that.
and they told me if I got off statin drugs, it would kill me, or I would be back in the hospital to get another stent. That was false. It didn't happen. 5 years down the road, no statin drugs, no blood pressure medication, nothing. My blood pressure is great, and my heart is in great condition. And I'm deadlifting more than I've ever deadlifted. I'm handling weights more than I've ever have at 65. I mean,
Mm,
more than I was 20 years ago.
yeah,
And my cardio was up. I feel great. And my brain is cleared up. You know, I don't worry about getting Alzheimer's now because I'm off of those drugs.
yeah,
I'll just put it that way.
yeah.
I mean, so yeah, this is morality versus the money of the industrial medical complex and the pharmaceutical companies. They're about making money, not about patient care.
Hmm.
That's my opinion.
Wow, wow, wow. Folks, get informed. And again, we're just showing you what these people are putting out. Again, these are doctors, these are people that are within the medical system, and they're coming out saying it. Don't go with what you hear in the media. We know how bad the media is. Therefore, research and look at these things for yourself because this is crazy, brother. Crazy.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else
Yeah,
you want
right
to?
there. Go back up. Now we'll end on the Federal Reserve. How's that?
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
This is a good history of the Federal Reserve. Not that one. The one below.
Right there.
Right there. That the guy right there. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
This is really good.
All right, here we go. The greatest scam in history.
Jekyll Island, November 1910. 7 bankers meeting in secret to create America's central bank. We just can't call it that.
The 1907 panic nearly destroyed us. Banks failed, fortunes vanished.
We want to control America's money supply, create booms, trigger busts, and profit from both. And how will we do that?
We'll create money from nothing, loan it to the government, and charge interest. Legal counterfeiting, my friends.
But there's a cost. Every dollar we print steals value from existing dollars. It's a hidden tax that flows directly to us. And it gets worse. If we ever get off the gold standard, governments can print money for wars. Endless wars become possible and profitable.
Since Americans hate central banks, we'll call it the Federal Reserve. Sounds governmental, doesn't it? It's not.
The president will appoint board members, but we'll pick who he appoints. We'll have 12 regional banks. Looks decentralized, democratic even, but New York banks control them all. That's us.
You're probably wondering how we're going to get this through Congress. December 23rd, 1913. Most of Congress home for Christmas. Perfect timing for passing unpopular legislation.
I'll publicly oppose our own bill in Congress. They'll pass it thinking they beat Wall Street. We'll fund university chairs, write the textbooks. They'll teach our system as economic science. Beautiful. Every American born after this will inherit debt on money we created from nothing. Generational servitude. The Federal Reserve. Not federal, no reserves. But everyone will think it's their government protecting them.
Good afternoon.
So,
Wow.
did we get rid of the Federal Reserve, brother, you think?
No. Nope. Still there, still
Oh
rolling.
my goodness. You know,
It's
I think Trump's getting ready to move on that. He just
Yeah.
appointed a new Fed chairman that I think is going to bring the Fed down to its knees.
Wow, that'd be beyond historical if
Yeah.
that truly does happen. But wow, yeah. But no, that was that's an AI generated video, but it was well done because you get the whole gist of the whole feel of the early 1900s with the whole federal thing. But
Right.
yeah, no, we have not done away with it. The Federal Reserve still runs things, and I mean, just look at your debt. Anybody that has debt, look at it. That's how you know the Federal Reserve is still involved.
Now, here's
But
the thing. If the Federal Reserve goes, so does the IRS.
yeah, absolutely. You know how
Okay.
nice that would be to
Mhm.
your money not get taxed, an extra, what, 600-700 bucks on your paycheck, bro?
Yeah. I mean, they're attached at the hip, you know.
Yeah, they are. They are
Get
big
rid
time.
of one, you're going the other one's going to have to go. If you dump the IRS, it will bankrupt the Federal Reserve. If you get rid of the Federal Reserve, the IRS now has no purpose.
Hmm.
That is to feed the Federal Reserve all that money. And who prints our money, right?
Right.
And so they're attached to each other, and you take one out, the other one goes.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Good stuff, bro. Well, I wanted to close on a good note. Powerful testimony. We're
Mhm.
all about powerful testimonies, right? God, the gospel of Jesus Christ transforms lives. This gentleman here, his name is Niza Powers. Says here, spent years as a trans woman before detransitioning 6 months ago, and then becoming a Christian less than 2 months ago. He's been documenting his journey on Instagram, and it's been fascinating to watch. And it has, bro. It's this. I mean, the gospel changes lives, brother. Not only secures you as a son and a daughter of God, but it gives you eternal salvation. But it just transforms lives, bro. So I wanted to end on on a testimony, and so you can see the power of the gospel. Here we go.
Come with me for a men's Bible study. I tried to go to one last night, but it got canceled. 10 years ago when I lived as Nicole, this is the last thing I would have seen myself doing. Anything that distinctively called itself for men, I stayed far, far away from. But here I am at a men's Bible study. Let's find some fellowship among other Christian men. So I got here at 6 o'clock, but it actually doesn't start until 6:30. So everything's locked up. I'm super early. That would explain why there's no cars in the parking lot. I should have known something when I pulled up, but I guess more time to read the Bible on my own.
So it kind of gives you a rundown on what he experienced.
Snap a picture if you want. Encourage one another. We help each other. The largest ships are guided by the smallest rudder. And
help with that.
Meet you guys. See ya. Yep. It's not too scary hanging out with guys. That went so much better than I ever thought it could go. Some of the guys were battling things that I have not experienced as a man before. They talked about different urges that I haven't had with women and things like that, and I had a hard time relating that way. Yeah. Even though I'm with a woman now, I still feel like there's a little disconnect. But the more that I continue to fellowship with other men and just be around my Christian family, the more Christ-like I'll become, and that's all I want in the long run. Maybe this small group might not be my thing. Definitely was fun to meet and fellowship with other Christian men.
One more, and then we can discuss.
Hey guys, so it's my 12th day of being a Christian, and I do feel lonely. I feel isolated from my family and from my friends, from my newfound faith. And it sucks. It really does, because this is the greatest love I've ever felt, is the love of Jesus Christ. But sometimes I don't know what to do. I'm going to continue